write and watch movies by DVD tape. Now you can stream it.
Stream it.
Yeah.
Internationally, the world has not caught up, because just as one thing happens today, something comes in, you go from HBO to Netflix to streaming movies all at once, and then there's piracy that comes into it. Well, the core principles are still the same. What has been created should be protected, and so should the rights to remuneration. In that sense, Nigeria actually is, I would say, at least in development, at the forefront of activities to regulate. There's currently an ongoing issue between COSON and BON about royalty payments. I think there's more we could do, but that applies globally. Our copyright laws are strong because they are based on international.
But it's more enforcement.
It needs more awareness. It's not enforcement. You can't enforce what you don't understand. And as a lawyer, speaking as a lawyer and as a practitioner, a lot of people on both sides of the artistic divide, the producers, the actors, the artists, even label heads, don't know what they are doing. They go on gut instinct because...
No, I don't think so, because we've been in the meetings with the copyright people, and they have, it's a government, they have, sorry, you can, sorry.
Because a lot of the time, people actually don't want to actually take the steps to go individually. Having discussions is one thing, but if you don't know your case before you sit down for a negotiation, you will lose.
So who should be making everybody understand what they're supposed to be doing?
I would suggest that the creative arts industry as a whole set up educational, I won't call them guilds, but it's actually educate people.
So we didn't have most of that for this year?
With a fee attached to it. If you pay for something, right?
Yes,
because then it's like, to segue with it, it's like elections. If you don't value your votes, you will sell it. If you don't value your rights, you will sell them.
Yeah, but your point is right, but because it's two-way. I need to, for instance, if I want to produce my work, I need to get it copyrighted, so that I have already empowered the copyright, so that whoever pirates my work, I've given them the power to actually go ahead and do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes some people might not copyright their work, so their hands are tied. But also, the copyright people, they'll tell you they need manpower, they need more funding, they need more stuff to enable them to do the work the way they're supposed to do. And I think most of us are still registered at work, and you find out that your work is still pirated. They're trying, but it still needs more enforcement to be done, more awareness to be created, which all of us are supposed to. All of us are supposed to come and say, okay, well, we're saying no to piracy. This is what. I also agree with the fact that people don't know that they are committing these crimes. So by the time you say, okay, this is what you're not supposed to be doing, if you're caught doing this, this is the consequences. And then the guy selling on the street does not even know that I'm not even supposed to pirate this work. So by the time we need that awareness and the campaign to let people now work together, yes, we will. But
you mentioned, sorry Stephanie to cut you there, you mentioned that there were issues of capacity as regards people who are handling these copyright matters.
Yeah, it's a copyright institution. They will tell you, oh, okay, fine, we're doing as much as we can, but we need more funding, we need more manpower, we need more people to go on the streets to monitor.
Why can't the industry help out? Why can't you educate a couple of people who have, who can actually do these things for you, to work side by side with the government to ensure that everybody has a win-win situation?
I think the industry, some of the guild people have their task force people that are working with, and some of the meetings that we've also had with the copyright, we had a roundtable, and they're looking at what are the various ways to move it further. They're improving, it's trying to see, okay, what are the fundings that they need also to help them set up their data, to be able to capture the actual data that they need, to be able to know who has the right to do this or do that.
Okay, Ihane, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, for me, as simple as a business, if you want to actually protect your work, get a lawyer to register it. Once you actually create art and you actually put it in tangible form, whether you write it or it has a copyright. Now, one key problem is that people confuse only the copyright and licensing it. Once work is created, it is already copywritten. Once it is performed, it is protected. What you have to focus on is how you protect your rights to make money from it or to prevent its abuse, and that's licensing. You don't need necessarily to go to a copyright organization to protect or to. You need to actually license and then enforce your licensing of your property. There is a very key distinction, and a lot of people I deal with don't understand this. So we're with the agreement that we need more education about it. I find out things every single day, especially with new challenges with social media and internet downloads and all that. But again, I guess for me it's this idea of going to regulatory bodies alone. We should set up our own specialist bodies in our industry composed of lawyers, financiers, and tax people, so that we know before we go to these people what it is we are trying to protect. There's a difference between, for example, mechanical rights and those in property. One applies to the exercise of the work. I can write a book and I can cite a book, and someone can quote a passage. I have to give you the right to license that passage. A good example would be Beyonce's use of Chimamanda Adichie's
the American.
Yes, on her note. She had to pay for that to be read. Now, if Chimamanda Adichie herself reads that passage, there's a fee attached to it. If Beyonce reads that passage, there's a separate fee attached to it. Each just has just the music from anything. These are different things that we need to understand. And this is where the lawyers in the industry should work with the other practitioners in the industry to make the case for what it is we want to do. Because if we don't know how we can use our property, other people will do it for us. The marketer on the street hasn't got any cause because nobody has told him
Not to.
Yes, and we as an industry haven't gone after this, yet we deal with these marketers ourselves. By the way,
I think a couple of people have gone out to do. We're just saying that. I think we're also almost saying the same thing. We need more. We need more enforcement. We need more to come together to actually demand that the environment is really friendly for our business.
Okay. Now let's still look at what the industry value chain was like for this year. I'm talking about concept development, production, acting, marketing, etc.
Well, there was a lot of film. Well, trust Nollywood that there's a lot of films that are out there for sure. Yeah, and now the music, I can't even keep up because there's a lot of music. Now I know the music more than the artist, so there's a lot of music. There's a lot of. I think there's been a lot of content this past 2013. So
yeah, but in terms of production and concept development, basically, because it seems as if some just replicate the same ideas over and over and over. Just you have different actors and maybe one or two scenes or one or two choruses or breaks are not there.
Well, I think you have it. I think it's just like Hollywood. You're watching the sequel of so many films being replicated and everything. I think
the same year.
Broadcasting.
Even
stations and they all have versions of business morning, for example. What is different is the way you present your work and the perspective you take.
Okay.
There are a million songs about love that come out every single day.
But at least I feel that stood out.
And that's what's important. So when it's a concept development, it's not as important as concept execution and delivery. Steffi, for example, is a pioneer in a little light in her craft because no one else can do what she does with her craft. That applies to the Genevieves, to the Motalas, to the Ramsey Noahs and the rest. And it applies to music as well, and theatre and TV. So I don't worry about concept development. I worry more about delivering also the audience's receptiveness, because if people want to hear only one type of music or see one type of film, it makes it harder for you to convince them. But it is possible. I speak because in theatre, for example, we're not looking at a wave of musicals.
Yeah.
But 4 years ago, when my company started with Olurumbi, there was a lot of obstacles to it, which also applied to when you got involved with your bringing the New York Film program to Nigeria. There are always obstacles. You have to persevere. And
then it just and there's it's not something you control. There are millions of people who want to replicate the same thing. There are people who just want to do things differently in a different way and set a new pace. So it's an open market for everybody to show their creativity, and then it's left for people like you and the audience to respond to which one they decide to.
One thing does apply, one truism, and certainly come back to the cream always rises to the top. At the end of the day, quality work will stand out.
Yeah.
You just have to believe in your craft and work towards it and have the right partnerships, I guess, and it will get there.
Okay, now Stephanie, we're on home stretch. Going into the new year, you've worked so hard to ensure that you lay a good foundation for what next year is going to be like. What are your expectations?
For next year? Well, I expect great things. I'm looking forward to releasing my upcoming film called Dry, which is a film that I want to use to campaign about the degrading condition that a lot of young unprivileged young girls go through during childbirth, and hopefully I want to use the movie to campaign against vescovaginal fistula and the early marriage. And I have a couple of things. Hopefully, my husband runs the New York Film Academy, so hopefully we're hoping to do our training program next year, and so many other things, so many other film projects. And sometimes I like to keep the suspense. So as I go, I release them. But good things are coming up next year, and I'm very excited about 2014 because I know it's definitely going to be my year. I don't know about you.
It's definitely about
And also, we're looking for the industry to also grow more from the level that it is right now to to a different level, and for all of us to really come together.
But that
to
means
ensure
that means the industry will not stop talking, because unless you talk, there's no way you're going to
we'll
get
keep
change.
meeting and then start, we'll have to find different ways to make sure that, this industry really works, because we have no other business and we're not going anywhere. I don't know, you're a lawyer, so maybe you have other business. We have no other business.
You have a degree, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 degrees.
So you also have options.
She loves what she's decided to do right now. She's sticking to it.
Right now. I've been doing it for a long time, so where do you want me to go?
Yeah, for 2014, what should we be expecting?
I look forward to the expansion of my company, Aboriginal Productions, into newer areas. We just launched we rolled out our music division, and we've had a couple of successes with our first 2 acts. They've been nominated for the Headies and the NMVAs, so that's a good start for us. We're looking at rolling out more content in the music division. We're also looking to move into your industry with short films and TV programs, and hopefully, if you are still in the acting profession, as opposed to just your acting producer in New York Film Academy, you might honor us with an audition for a couple of our projects. I'll talk to your agent, don't worry about it.
But at least I know I'm employed now, which is a good thing.
If you could agree on, on the funding, because she's very, very focused on the funding. So I'm looking to also more collaboration with within the industry, strengthening our institutions, creating new ones where they are needed, and making a sustained, coherent, and value-based pitch to the financial parties to invest in this industry that we love so much and which gives so much in return to the youth, and also comfort and enjoyment to families generally. We have a big industry, and we should support it.
I mean, it's the biggest industry that's that's showcasing
so
Nigeria, the image of Nigeria, laundering the image of Nigeria. So,
well, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning, Stephanie and Ihane. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I've been speaking with Stephanie Linus Ni Okereke, an Nollywood artist, and Ihane Ahigwe, he's the CEO of Aboriginal Production, and we've been looking at the entertainment industry, at least looking at some of the challenges that the industry faced in this year, and projecting towards next year. But that's the program for today, the holiday edition of Business Morning. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Harriet Agmini.